This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Will full coverage make me look cakey? Is my undertone neutral or is it cool? We get it. Finding the right foundation is hard. But with Il Maquillage, it's easy to find your perfect match online, customized for your unique skin tone and coverage needs. Plus, with Try Before You Buy, you can try your full size at home for 14 days. With over 600,000 5-star reviews, this best-selling foundation is going viral for a reason. Take the Power Match quiz now at ilmaquillage.com/quiz. ILMAKIAGE.com/quiz.
ZPG Ice Maidens.
Hello and welcome to ZPG Ice Maidens, the only dedicated Women's National Ice Hockey League podcast.
Part of the ZPG network of UK ice hockey podcasts.
We're in partnership with the Hockey Archive, hockey clothing for hockey people, worn by the best
and hated by the rest.
Listen to the ZPG network.
Get a 10% discount on everything
at hockeyartclothing.co.uk.
Just enter the code ZP10 on checkout to get your discount.
We're also part of the Sports Social Podcast Network,
the biggest sports podcast network in Europe,
boasting over 450 podcasts
for more than 15 different sports.
Hello and welcome to our latest edition of ZPG Ice Maidens. We are playing catch-up this week and we are focusing on the 2 weeks in the middle of February. So, with a lot to get through, let's get started. We start in Division 1 North, where the Sheffield Shadows made their way down the M1 to face the Nottingham Vipers in early February. After a delayed start, it seemed both teams were slow to get into the groove, with the first period ending goalless. Things heated up in the second period once Sheffield scored their first goal, Eva Selassie netting from Millie Such and Hazel Wilson at 27:51. The third period saw non-stop action. Robin Wilson-Barrett doubled the Shadows' lead a couple of minutes in before Nottingham pulled one back soon after, thanks to Sarah Kimber, who found the net from Gemma Dilley. But the game was made just about safe when Hazel Wilson scored to make it 3-1 at 51:17 from Caitlin Stocks and Alison Brayton's assists. The moment of the game belonged to goal number 4, though, as Charlie Farr netted her first senior goal with just over 2 minutes to go. Alicia Potts, who was named the Shadows player of the game, collected the primary assist, with Robin Wilson-Barrett collecting the secondary one. In the south, a tough game for Cardiff Comets saw them fall to a 12-2 defeat at home to a rampant Swindon Topcat side. The Wiltshire outfit didn't need long to take control of the game, Lily Endicott converting on an early power play inside the opening 5 minutes from Ellie Wallace's assist, before Wallace added a second 3 minutes later. Cardiff did grab a goal back just after the 10-minute mark, thanks to Leah Cannon, but Endicott scored her second less than a minute later to restore her side's 2-goal advantage. That was before captain Joy Scott-Russell made it 4-1 from Katie Reid's assist just 14 seconds before the first break. Reid scored off a power play in the second period to further increase Swindon's lead before Lily Endicott netted her second power play of the game and her hat-trick marker at 34:01. Endicott added her fourth soon after from Wallace once again, and a minute later Miley Drazy made it 8-1 before Ellie Wallace scored her second from, you guessed it, an Endicott assist. The Wallace and Endicott double act continued into the third period, where they added 3 more goals. Wallace made it 10-1 from Ellie Shaw's assist before Cardiff pulled one back. Leah Cannon grabbing her second with assists from her sister Amy Cannon and Gemma Kelland. But Swindon's deadly duo combined again seconds later, with Wallace netting her 4th of the game from Endicott's assist, before the under-18 gold medal winner grabbed her 5th of the game and her 7th point. Truly remarkable. Shout out to Comets netminder Ella Lawrence, who faced 48 shots on goal and handled the onslaught like a champ. Swindon's player of the game was shared between Lily Oliver and Jess Sumner. The unbeaten Bristol Huskies made their trip along the M4 to take on the Firebees. Starting between the pipes for the home side was Mackenzie McNamara, with Gemma Davis in goal for Bristol Huskies. Becky Inker had an early shot saved by McNamara as the Huskies tried to get an early lead in the game. A Becky Osmond shot and a long-range attempt from Becky York put pressure on the Firebees, before Katie Edgington opened the scoring for the Huskies at 4:39, assisted by Becky Osman and Elin Morrey. Firebees tried to level it back up straight away. Josie Clark-Pyatt had a decent chance, but the shot went high. Huskies kept applying the pressure, with Mila Peroni seeing her right wing shot saved by McNamara's pads, and Amelia Worth also having a shot blocked. Around 16:44, Peroni made a good move past a couple of Firebees, but her shot was saved. At 17:40, Firebees Suzanne Altelmi and Josie Clark-Pyatt had a 2-on-1 break, but the shot went wide. Firebees would then move into penalty trouble at the end of the first period, and the score would remain 1-0 Huskies, with the home side being outshot 11-6. The second period saw the Huskies start with a minute 21 of a 5-on-3 power play. Huskies pressed the net, but a good penalty kill from the Firebees saw them kill off both of the penalties. Both teams had chances, including shots from Mae Sullivan and Isabel Bennett, that were saved by Gemma Davis, and a dangerous cross from the right wing by Edgington around 27:28, which went across the front of the net. However, the Firebees equalised at 29:18 when Talia Davidson-Wright got the puck into the offensive zone after intercepting a Huskies pass. Talia continued to the net and shot, only to be denied by Davis, who got a piece of it, but Talia was on hand to follow up the rebound and score unassisted. Huskies went back on the power play soon after and generated a few scoring chances themselves, including a shot from Mackenzie Kelly, but the Firebees were able to kill off the penalty. Huskies kept the pressure on and were rewarded when Edgington got her second of the night, with Becky Osmond getting the only assist at 35:01. The second period would finish with Firebees on the power play, but the score remained Firebees 1, Huskies 2, with the Huskies again outshooting the hosts 16-9. An open third period saw chances for both sides, but it was the Huskies who would score next. Katie Edgington went to the net and completed a hat-trick at 47:39, assisted by Becky Osman, who collected her third helper of the game. Firebees fought on with Josie Clark-Pyatt, Suzanne Antelmi, Talia Davidson-Wright and Isabel Bennett getting chances, but Gemma Davis kept them out. Huskies were still looking to score up to the end, and McNamara was forced into putting off a glove save from Mackenzie Kelly in the final minutes. The game would finish with Bristol Huskies taking the win 3-1, with Bristol outshooting the Firebees 11-7 in that final period. Player of the game went to Firebees Megan Beagle and to the Huskies Jess Jones. Thank you for that report from Andrew Day, who after the game also spoke to Bristol Huskies GB under-18 gold medalist defender Elin Morrey.
I'm with Bristol Huskies taking on Elin Morrey. Just want to ask you how today's game went, please.
It was a tough game because we didn't have our normal coaches on the bench, which I think it felt a bit weird for us. And we went off in a slow start to the game, but we started to work together more, passing, and we did it, we won, we got there in the end.
And how's the season going at home?
It's pretty good. We're unbeaten. Everyone's working together. We've really got a bond together with all of us, and it's been a great season so far.
And you just come back from Riga, got the gold. How was that for you?
It was amazing to have. Is that being my first World Championship, to be around those girls? Some of them experienced, some of them still new like me. It was amazing. They're a great group of people. everyone, it was like a family. We didn't have any quarrels. We all got on, and it's just a lovely group to be around, and I'm going to miss it.
Thank you for your time, Elin.
It's okay.
The following week saw last season's Division 1 champion Swindon Top Cats claim a first win of the season over local rivals Bristol Huskies with a thrilling 3-2 road victory. The Huskies, who hadn't dropped a point all season heading into the clash, had already taken the first encounter between the sides to hold a comfortable lead at the top of the standings. However, this win from Swindon has given them hope of retaining their championship crown, especially as both games have been settled by a single point and they have to meet twice more, meaning they can overhaul the Huskies at the top. Evie Corson gave Bristol the lead at 13:42 when scoring off a Jess Jones assist, but Lily Endicott brought Swindon back level at 16:02 when putting home captain Joy Scott Russell's feed. Endicott, fresh from her starring role with GB Under-18's gold medal winning side in Latvia, put the Top Cats in the lead inside the final couple of minutes of the middle session. Endicott turned provider in the final period when she assisted on Ellie Wallace's goal, which proved to be the game winner. Jess Jones cut the arrears with 10 minutes to go when she scored for Mackenzie Kelly and Becky Inker. But it wasn't enough to salvage something from the game. Swindon's Shannon Mercer was named player of the game after her 19-save performance, while Gemma Davis also made 19 saves in the Huskies' net. The two sides are set to meet twice more in the coming weeks, with the destination of this season's Division 1 South title set to be resolved. Chelmsford Cobras welcomed the Firebees to Essex for their third matchup of the season. The Firebees had won the two previous meetings between the sides, but the Cobras were looking to get the win before facing them for the final time away next month. The first period saw end-to-end action, with both teams getting chances on net. Firebees, who outshot their hosts 13-5, grabbed the first goal of the game in the first couple of minutes of the period. Talia Davidson-Wright scoring from Grace Riley. An evenly matched second period again saw chances at both ends, Cobras holding on defensively while seeking any offensive opportunities to try and even the score. Both goalies remained strong, with Firebees' Naomi Healy the busier of the two, as the home side outshot them 11-8. Cobras continued their offensive pursuit into the third period as they tried to pull back the score. They were rewarded with a goal midway through the period, when Christina Powell netted from Katie Dadd and Connie Feidler. Cobras continued to defend well as Firebees looked to apply the pressure. But in the final minute of the game, Cobras hit a dramatic late winner when Charmaine Easton scored from Brittany Stoneman for a 2-1 come-from-behind win. We move now on to Division 2 South, and after a few injuries to the Peterborough Phantoms, it left the team short going into their game away to Solent. So it perhaps came as no surprise when the Gosport-based side raced into an early lead. Louise Beresford netted twice, 4 minutes apart, with Leah Truban assisting on the first goal 31 seconds in before Jess Banner and Chantal Eyre combined for the second. Lucy Gates made it 3-0 later in the period, but Peterborough hit back a minute later when Scarlett Shelton netted. Jess Banner scored 5 minutes into the second period from Eyre to make it 4-1 before Beresford completed her hat-trick moments later thanks to a Macy Breckenridge assist. Peterborough cut the arrears a couple of minutes before the second break when Hannah Mesarasova scored to make it 5-2. Another fast start by the Amazons saw them add to their lead, with Banner scoring twice more to complete her hat-trick. Breckenridge assisted on the first, with Chantal Eyre on the second. The Isle of Wight-born scoring phenomenon scored herself soon after, before laying on her fourth assist of the game for her fifth point, when setting up Jess Banner for what was her fourth goal and also her fifth point. The Phantoms pushed through until the very end and did manage to slow the Amazons down and grab another consolation. Peyton Brayland bagging her first goal inside the final minute of the game. Peterborough's player of the game went to Emma McCarthy, who continuously put her body on the line during the game, battling in every corner and fighting for every second she was on the ice. This included playing on whilst being injured, for a truly amazing performance. In Division 2 South B, Coventry Phoenix welcomed the Lee Valley Vampires to their rink in early February. Another league newcomer, this time from North London. The game started like the previous one, with an early goal by the Phoenix. Orla Beckett poached a goal assisted by Hannah Bridges in the second minute. After that, though, the first period saw a lot of end-to-end play, with the Vampires outshooting the Phoenix 16-12 and putting a lot of pressure on. The Phoenix came out of the team talk determined, going into the second period with renewed focus and ready to turn up the heat. And they were rewarded with 2 goals. The first arrived unassisted by Vicky Brentville, with the second by Sophie Gallen from Sarah Powell. Going into the third with the scoreline at 3-0, momentum was certainly with the Phoenix, but an offensive rush by the Vampires and an unlucky deflection off the Coventry defence granted Lee Valley a goal and a chance to get back into the game. Alison Glover scored from Caitlin Pacini. The Phoenix didn't let up though and continued attacking, being rewarded in the final 10 minutes with 2 goals, one by Nancy Baker, assisted by Michelle Ponter and Vicky Brentville, and the last, another unassisted strike by Vicky Brentville. The game ending a 5-1 win to the Phoenix. Coventry's Ellie Jo Cole was solid in net with a 96% save percentage. Phoenix player of the game was awarded to Victoria Brentville after what was a brilliant performance playing at centre. Player's player was given to Sophie Gallen. The Battle of London Part 2 took place in Streatham as the Storm welcomed Haringey Greyhounds for what was the return fixture in the South Cup. It was the North London side that took the lead at 4:56 when Miri Pomeran scored to put the Greyhounds ahead. But less than 40 seconds later and the home side were back level, with Hayley Schatz putting home an assist from Alexis Butler for 1-1. Haringey were back ahead before the period was over though, Zoe Standish scoring from Caitlin Trudel. Streatham battered the Haringey goal during the opening 40 minutes, outshooting the visitors 36-11, but still they were behind. That was until Francesca Thorogood netted the equaliser with just under 5 minutes remaining in the middle session. The Greyhounds went ahead for a third time in the game at 47-28 when Yami Mankanda Corliss scored unassisted. But the lead lasted less than 6 minutes before Streatham equalised once again. Sarah Larty netting to earn her side a share of the spoils in this latest cup clash. Special praise should go to Haringey goalie Courtney Berg for her 40 saves throughout the game. The Whitley Bay Beacons clinched a second win against the Caledonia Steel Queens in back-to-back weekends. But the Division 2 side were made to work hard for their latest success against a rapidly improving Scottish outfit. Beacons were without the injured pair Paige Brooks and Claire Wilson, while leading scorer Emily Duffy and the effervescent Kat Eastwood were unavailable, as were Chloe Johnston and Alex Browell. Caledonia were also missing their experienced forwards, including Asa Kenza-Bekover and Emily Camphouse, who both scored in the game the previous weekend. The visitors going with a young but fast skating lineup. The first period saw something of a battle as neither side were able to enjoy much time on the puck before losing possession. The visitors narrowly outshot their hosts 5-4, but with them also expertly killing off a Beacons power play. The second period started much better, with Whitley finally getting the breakthrough 93 seconds in. Rowan Allen, who was outstanding throughout the game, firing home. Former Beacons defender Jordan Troup was another who stood out, posting several minutes over the last 2 periods. Jordan took the game by the scruff of its neck, putting on a defensive masterclass as she blocked shots, intercepted pucks and broke up plays before helping to lead her side forward. Despite not being much older than the youngsters on the Caledonia team, Jordan provided some much-needed experience, having iced for the club's Division 1 side this season, as well as having played in the Elite League with the Beacons. It was one of Jordan's forays forward which led to Caledonia tying the game. With a little over 7 minutes to go to the second intermission, Marie Galloway found her in space, with the defender's speculative effort on goal skimming its way over the ice before taking a cruel bounce over Beacon's goalie Ruth Palmer's stick. But as the saying goes, it doesn't matter how, only how many, and we had a tie game. They say goals like that even themselves out over the course of a season, but the bounce was balanced 3 minutes later when Rowan Allen hit a shot which crept under Steel Queen's goalie Erin Riley for another goal which aired on the side of luck. Both goalies could sympathise with one another after those shots went in. What was perhaps most impressive, having been pulled back level, was Whitley's response to giving up that goal, with them going straight back onto the front foot and looking for the go-ahead goal. Having got their lead back, Whitley seemed to draw some confidence and started to crash home their second period superiority when Tanya Royce fired home from Lindsay Zerban-Young's pass inside the low slot just 22 seconds later. The home side opened up a 3-goal advantage before the period was over when captain Joy Hurst converted Rowan Allen's feed for 4-1. The second break couldn't have come at a better time for Caledonia, having been outshot 13-4 during the middle session. But they reverted to frustrating the Beacons in the final period and were only narrowly bettered on the shot count by 11-9. With the Beacons on a power play 8 minutes into a period, it offered them a chance to kill the game off. Instead, Caledonia put in an excellent penalty kill once again and were even able to get themselves on the score sheet once more when Elise Barnest fired an excellent shot into a top corner, which Ruth Palmer had no chance of stopping. Both sides spent the next 10 minutes trading chances before a Caledonia power play, with 3 minutes to go, offered them the chance to cut into the lead. Sensing this was the best opportunity to make it a 1-goal game, the Queens called a timeout, with Erin Riley pulled for an additional attacker and a 6-on-4 advantage. It was a worthy gamble given the circumstances, and one which didn't quite come off. With the penalty ticking down, Whitley did a great job of absorbing the visitors' pressure before a nice breakout saw Isabel Johnson feed Devors to put into the empty net and seal a 5-2 win. It was far from a routine victory for Whitley, but they were happy to get the win and stay in contention for a playoff spot. While, based on these latest performances, Caledonia are an ever-improving side that have closed the gap over the course of the season, and their first points can't be far away. After the game, I spoke to Caledonia defenders Beth Nelson and Jordan Troup. Welcome to Ice Maidens. Today I'm catching up with Caledonia defender Beth. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So, game just finished now. Still Queens kind of away with a 5-2 defeat, but there's a lot to be proud of in that performance. That's a pretty close score.
Oh, 100%. We are so proud of every single person in that change room. We came in and everyone was cheering and screaming because that's the closest result we've had all season, and you can see every single game from the very first game at home in Kelso, the Leeds, to today, the leaps and bounds we've all come on and confidence that we've all grown in, so it's really good to see.
Yeah, results and performances seem to be improving week on week.
Yeah.
Never step, but going down the stretch with 2-3 minutes to go, you can still in this game. It's a 2-goal game.
Oh, 100%. Like, it was very fine margins the entire game. Like, end of the first period, it was 0-0. We have not had that this season. We played amazingly defensively and we were pressuring them in their defensive zone. Like, it was the most well-rounded game we've had so far.
Yeah, perhaps in the end the difference was towards the end of that second period where we got 3 goals in quick succession. But without Jordan's goal, we sort of bounced in and that gave you some hope around 1-1. And even towards the end there with that power play and extra it just wasn't to be, but there wasn't far.
Oh no.
Made a difference.
Yeah, one lucky bounce. Like we said, I turned around when they got the 2 goals in quick succession. I turned around and I was like, 3-1 game, one lucky bounce. We are so in this again. Like, it was just anybody's game right up until the end, and that's the best bit about it, really.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, looking at the lineup there, with some senior players missing this week, you played last week, you got a lot of goals last week. Yeah. So again, that gives you a fresh thought there, getting goals from different players.
Yeah. Every single week there's someone else who steps up, who finds the confidence to take the risk, to take the shot, to skate it a bit further, and it's just great to see, because at the start of the season it was only 1 or 2 people, and now this week 2 people aligned were having the confidence to skate up and knowing that they can backtrack with the play and not get caught behind it, and it was great.
It is, and this is a relatively young team, a very good team, you're a how have you found it? This is your first season, isn't it?
Yeah, I've found it great, especially playing between Div 2 and Div 1, because there's different things you pick up from both teams. Like, in this team, yes, I'm one of the younger players, and I had never, apart from playing for Team Ireland in the Development Cup last year, I'd never fully experienced women's hockey before. So I came in, and everyone heard of this kid from Belfast, and I was just another person, and everyone welcomed me in. Same with the Div 1 team. I was welcomed in, like I'd been there for 5 years, and just kind of got on with things. And in Div 1, it's nice because I'm able to look up to the older players, like sort of Aisling and Bradley and Emily Luck and stuff like that, who really, especially Emily, because she's a centre, like just see the way they play and the way I want to like make myself play like that, and the tips that they have and stuff for me. It's really helped me learn a lot this year so far.
That's great to hear. Well, Beth, thank you very much for joining me, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome to Ice Maidens, where today I'm catching up with Steel Queens defender Jordan Troup. And first of all, Jordan, thank you for joining me, and very well done on your Player of the Game award.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to be here and to be interviewed. I'm very excited for this.
Good stuff. Now, you were excellent out there today. You got the Player of the Game award, and there was a lot of defensive plays where Whitley threw a lot at you, but you dealt with it so well. I mean, talk us through it. What was your take on the game?
My take on the game is we played utterly brilliant. Like, if you obviously don't look at the scoreboard, I think like that was the best game that Caledonia Div 2 has ever had. And the nicest thing about it is every game that we play, the more we become like a closer team and the better that everyone gets. And even though, like the score wasn't on our side, I don't want anyone beating themselves up over that score, because absolutely everyone did amazing. And even to Whitley, they did fucking brilliant. Like, they were always in our zone. It annoyed me, but that's when you know you're doing it right, is when you annoy the defenseman. So.
Absolutely. Well, you annoy me sometimes, because every time Whitley trying to attack, you stop them. So I guess it works both ways, doesn't it? You also play for the Div 1 side as well. So how's that been going for your season there as well?
The Div 1 has actually been really well. I'm trying to remember all our game records and stuff, but we're in a comfortable position on the leaderboard. Everyone has been playing brilliant. The entire team is gelled together perfectly. And not to mention, every game we've played is more and more intense. It's more fun. And I'm excited to play the last few games of the season with them for Div 1 and Div 2. So.
Yeah, it could potentially be another trip to the playoffs. So you had some happy memories there last season. So.
Yeah, 100%. Like, generally our first season ever in the league, we ended up getting promoted. So that's always good. And not to mention, if we get to go to the playoffs again, that's even more fun. Yeah.
And finally, you were part of the GB University team that went out in Turin in January. So, did you enjoy that? Great experience, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, it genuinely feels like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Like, I will never play at that level again. But I took so much from that month that I was away. Like, ice hockey-wise, physically, mentally, I took so many things from it, especially with the coaches helping me the entire time. And I feel like I've become a better player from it. It's helped my confidence, it's helped with actually stick handling the puck. I don't panic under pressure anymore. And it was just great. And not to mention, Turin's absolutely beautiful. Like, if you ever see flights being like, oh, like London, Turin, take it. It's like a once in a lifetime thing. It's so nice, especially the fact that it's away from the centre as well. So,
yeah,
I'll recommend.
I've been to Turin. I can definitely recommend it there as well. But Jordan, thank you very much for your time. Great interview, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. It was great being here, and thank you so much for interviewing me.
In Division 2 North the following weekend, Kingston Diamonds hosted the Sheffield Shadows. Phoebe Gregg opened the scoring for the visitors from Elsa Williams at 14:48, with Afine Idiabor-Moses doubling the advantage early into the second period from Izzy Cottam and Robin Wilson-Barrett. Gregg would score her second of the game at 33:46 from Wallace Fennessy and Eleanor Shaw, before Izzy Oswin pulled one back for Kingston early in the final period when she netted from Sonia Bryce. Wilson-Barrett made the game save later in the period when she scored from Fennessy and Idiabor-Moses to complete a 4-1 win in the Yorkshire Derby. Rowan Yellett-Bilby was named player of the game. Haringey Greyhounds remain top of the Division 2 South B standings and are yet to drop a point after their latest 10-1 win away to Bristol. Jade Jones gave the North London side the lead 2 minutes 36 into the game before Miri Pomeranz doubled the advantage 2 minutes later. Jasmine Jones made it 3 late on in the period when she scored from a Jones assist before Zoe Standish netted 20 seconds later from Pomeranz to give the Greyhounds a 4-0 lead going into the first break. Annie McMahon scored at 32-21 to further extend Haringey's lead before Emily Cruddington pulled one back for Bristol Huskies from Orla Golden. Haringey restored their 5-goal advantage inside the final minute of the second period when Tegan Walsh put home a Jay Jones assist. Jenna Johnson increased the Greyhounds' lead at 43-15, with Tegan Walsh making it 8-1 a couple of minutes later after she scored from a Noam D'Alio assist. Further goals from Miri Pomeranz, who netted from Jenna Johnson, and an unassisted strike from Clementine Chandler completed the scoring. In the North Cup group, Widnes Wild and Telford Wrekin Raiders played out an entertaining 5-5 draw. However, the game ended early due to an injury to one of Telford's players, the result meaning it should still stand. Katie Fairclough gave Widnes a lead 2 minutes in from Catherine Fell's assist, but the visitors were back level 41 seconds later when Jade Poxon equalised for the Midland side. Less than a minute later, Tiffany Jane Miller had the Raiders ahead 2-1 to turn the score around, but Fairclough scored her second of the game from Gemma Brown just beyond the midpoint of the period to bring the teams back level. Michelle Madziak had Telford back ahead at 12:23 before scoring twice more 11 seconds apart inside the final moments of the period to score a quick and memorable hat-trick. Sarah Jane Murphy collected an assist on the second of the Canadians' goals, with Poxon assisting on their final 2 for a 3-point game. Leading 5-2, Telford were in control as they started the second period. However, Widnes soon worked their way back into the contest. Amanda Armstrong cut the arrears 4 minutes after a restart from Linda Decker, before Catherine Thornton scored her first goal for Widnes 5 minutes later from Rachel Pearce to make it a 1-goal game. Both sides exchanged chances before Pearce fired in the equaliser inside the final 2 minutes of the period to make it 5-5. With the result up for grabs as the sides headed into the final period, the game was cut short when a Telford player collided into the boards and required lengthy medical attention. With no ice time remaining to complete the game, both sides and the referee agreed to call the game at 41-19. Now, according to the official England ice hockey regulations, in the case of a match being abandoned due to a medical emergency, with neither team being at fault, the rule states that where less than 2 periods of the match have been played, a 0-0 draw will be declared, with each team being awarded 1 point. Where more than 2 periods of a match have been played, which is the case for this game, the result at the point of abandonment will stand. However, 2 seasons ago, Widnes, of course, were awarded a rather controversial win after they led 1-0 at Whitley Bay with only around 26 minutes played, when the correct result should have been declared a goalless draw, according to this rule. So, who knows what they'll decide on this one. In the Southern Cup Group 1, the Cambridge Kodiaks resumed their cup campaign against the Chelmsford Cobras, looking to continue their unbeaten run and welcoming back Erin Russell and Julia Mabry to the lineup. The Kodiaks set the tone in the first shift, with Catherine Leake, Rachel Holland and Ruby Allen driving to the Pythons' net, but just coming up short. Despite Chelmsford's physicality, Cambridge took advantage of the hosts' ill-discipline to lead in the first 2 minutes. Sarah Carvenan scoring from the slot on the power play a minute 41 in, with an assist from Christina Ashley. Yoa Hoshizaki then doubled the lead at 5:15 from Ashley before the latter scored later in the period from Josie Milton to end the period 3-0 to the good. The second period was evenly contested, Cherry Hambleton-Smith coming up big on several occasions with several saves. The Kodiaks eventually made it 4 with an unassisted goal from Sarah Carvenan just after the midpoint of the game. Cambridge ramped up the pressure in the third, only allowing 2 shots from Chelmsford, while getting 22 on Lilith Wright in the Pythons' goal. Christina Ashley scored from Milton at 42-16 before the visitors ran riot in the last 10 minutes of the game, including 3 goals in a minute. Carvenan completed her hat-trick at 52-13 from Ashley before Rachel Holland made it 7-0 from Ruby Allen soon after. Ashley's hat-trick arrived at 57-13 from Carvenan's assist before Julia Mabry netted from Hoshizaki 15 seconds later, and then Alicia Anderson scored from Mabry 19 seconds after that to make it 10-0. Ashley completed the scoring with 3 seconds left in the game with what was an unassisted goal for 11-0. Player of the game went to Cherry Hamilton-Smith for her shutout, with spirit of the game going to Ruby Allen. The Solent Amazons are the first team to lift some silverware this season after claiming South Cup Group 3 with a solid performance over Lee Valley Vampires in a 10-0 win. The first period was close as the Vampires missed a couple of great chances, but Jess Banner and Chantal Eyre soon put Solent up 2-0. With Eyre also assisting on the game's opening goal. The Amazons soon found their rhythm and worked together for more goals. Eyre scored her second from Lauren Dennis before Lucy Gates converted from Sarah Taylor's assist, with Dennis also collecting a helper on the play. Macy Breckenridge then netted her first for the Amazons at 35-01 off a Selena Payne feed, before Banner made it 6-0 before the end of the middle session. Jess Leslie got the scoring underway in the third before Banner scored again from Eyre and Dennis with 10 minutes to go. Kelly Stevenson also found the net with 3:30 to go when she scored from Taylor and Eyre before Eyre completed her hat-trick moments later for 10-0. The Vampires pushed forward more in the third period and created some great scoring chances, but Selena Sengunda, along with Charlie Fisby, maintained the shutout. Ellie Rush was named player of the game. The win sees Solent secure top spot in their cup group with a game still to play and are, therefore, crowned winners. They are the first side to claim any of the 17 trophies up for grabs in the WNIHL for this season. After having 4 weeks off, the Elite League got back underway and it was business as usual for the Solihull Vixens, who posted a big 11-1 win on the road. New signing Lydia Lutwich grabbed her first Vixens goal on her very first shift, scoring just a couple of minutes in. Katie Henry then doubled the advantage when she converted on the power play early into the second period. Jodie Alderson-Smith collecting an assist. Laura Horwood then scored soon after from Henry and Alicia Potts. The Vixens, who are yet to drop a point all season, moved further ahead when Lutwich scored again, scoring off a power play from Robin Mullen and Megan Burton. Grace Garbutt returned to the Solihull lineup after a stint in Austria and came back with a bang, netting from Lydia's feed for 5-0. The league leaders then scored 3 times in 2.5 minutes. Katie Henry got the scoring burst underway at 34-15 before her line mates Jodie Alderson-Smith and Laura Horwood scored 33 seconds apart to move the Vixens onto an 8-0 lead. Jodie would score again early into the second period for her 21st goal of the season. Grace Garbutt netted for a second time at 48-12 from Megan Burton and Henry before the league's leading scorer grabbed her 25th goal of the season late on and recorded her 40th point. Grace and Katie Anderton both collected assists on the play. The Vixens' top line combined for 10 goals and 26 points, moving the trio onto 100 points for the season in just 12 games, which is simply staggering. Katie Henry leads the way with 25 goals and 15 assists for 40 points. Jodie Alderson-Smith has 21 goals and 18 assists for 39 points, and Laura Horwood with 11 goals and 10 assists for 21 points. Lydia Lutwich ended the game with 2 goals and 3 points for a very memorable debut. It saw her take home the Player of the Game award, while Grace Garbutt made a welcome return with 2 goals and 3 points of her own. The Guildford Lightning posted a second win of the season when seeing off a short bench Kingston Diamond side at the Spectrum Centre with a 2-0 success. They showed grit, determination and 110% effort, and it paid off. Sam Payne converted on the power play from Cara Jones 3 minutes into the second period to set them on their way, for Izzy Zizhinska doubled the lead a minute into the final period when she scored off a Laura Sear feed. Marley Easton posted a 24-save shutout, while Leonie Charles was named Player of the Game. The Whitley Bay Beacons were denied a deserved point at home to Queen Bees last weekend, when the reigning Elite League and playoff champions scored with just 32 seconds remaining in the game to break the home side's hearts. Whitley started with Ruby Newlands on the top line alongside Steph Towns and Abby Coulshaw, with Emma Lamberton and Cassie McGregor on Becky Castner-Wood's line. The third line saw Danielle Turnbull and Claire Turnbull, with Amanda McWilliams and Jess Bridger rotating. Casey Trail formed the top defensive pairing alongside Caitlin Morrison, with Caitlin Stocks alongside Jade Cito and Emily Luck switching to the blue line to partner Vicky Smith. Sam Bolwell started in goal. It was the visitors who began the game stronger, with a dominant opening 20 minutes. They were ahead at 6:53 when Estelle tipped home a rebound just outside the crease after some good work from behind the net by Rachel Cartwright, and an initial shot by Louise Adams was saved. But Whitley were back level just over a minute later when Emma Lamberton pounced on a loose puck in the offensive zone before shimmying between two defenders and scoring what was an excellent solo finish. However, Queen Bees ensured they would take a lead with them into the second period when they needed just 12 seconds to convert on a tripping penalty at 14:29. Ellie Wallace putting home a rebound after both Adams and Lily Endicott had their attempts saved. The Queen Bees would outshoot the Beacons 19-9 in that opening period, and it was thanks to home goalie Sam Bolwell that it was just a one-goal game at that stage, having made 17 saves. Whitley made some changes for the start of the second period, with Ruby moving onto an all-GB under-18 line alongside Lamberton and McGregor, while Becky Castlewood took her place on the top line. The new-look offence seemed to do the trick, as it was the Beacons who were the better side in the middle session. Caitlin Morrison struck a near-perfect shot that hit the underside of the bar, but bounced out rather than down and in, before Abby Coulshaw led a 2-on-1 rush before picking out Steph Towns, who was denied by a smart stop by Queen Bee's goalie Mackenzie McNamara. Whitley were rewarded for their endeavour when they equalised inside the final 5 minutes of the period. Ruby Newlands pounced on a loose puck inside her own defensive zone before carrying it up the ice. As the Queen Bees' defence backed off, Ruby used them as a moving screen, before executing a deft drag back to open up some space and fire top shelf block aside, giving McNamara no chance of stopping it. But parity would only last for 20 seconds, the Queen Bees' goal-scoring phenomenon Rachel Cartwright restoring her side's lead from Louise Adams' assist, her third helper in what was her first appearance against her former side. Whitley were not to be denied though, and 7 minutes into the third period were back level. From a defensive zone face-off, Ruby Newlands released Cassie McGregor down the left wing boards. The player, a cool turbo, blasted past the Queen Bees' defence before drilling a low shot across Mackenzie McNamara to make it 3-3. Soon after, Whitley could have taken the lead when Ruby led a 2-on-0 rush, but as Danielle Turnbull looked set to score, McNamara smothered the effort to keep the score tied. Then Casey Trail, who was excellent throughout, surged forward with a couple of well-executed dragbacks to advance on goal, but couldn't quite find the finish. Becky Castner-Wood was next to go close when she almost capitalised on a loose puck, but Hannah Byram's defensive persistence meant she was unable to pull the trigger. With 4 minutes to go, Whitley were denied a blatant tripping call and an opportunity to grab the go-ahead goal on the power play. Emma Lamberton was sent sprawling with what has to be the biggest non-call of the season, but thanks to referee Steve Brown, he opted not to give the decision. Queen Bees almost snatched a winner with 80 seconds to go when Rachel Cartwright was quickest to react to a defensive giveaway, but she was robbed by an excellent Sam Bolwell save. With a degree of inevitability, the Queen Bees stole both points inside the final seconds when Lily Endicott picked off a beacon shot from the point and advanced up the ice with a kind of pace an Olympic speed skater would have been proud of. The Slough Bay side now had a 2-on-1 with Endicott slipping a perfect pass to play in Ellie Wallace, whose shot was stopped, but had the momentum to come loose and sit invitingly on the goal line. Endicott, who started the move, had the opportunity to finish it, and did so, winning the game when she tapped home into an unguarded net. Perhaps the cruelest way to lose a game, but Queen Bee showed just why they are such a good side. No result is safe until the final buzzer, and having only lost to Solihull this season, the reigning champions' 100% record over the rest of the league remains intact. Beacon's Elite returned to action at home to Guildford Lightning on Saturday the 1st of March with a 12 noon face-off. After the game, I spoke to Queen Bee's pair, Estelle and Louise Adams. Welcome to Ice Maidens, where today I'm catching up with Queen Bee's pair, Estelle and Louise Adams. So thank you, first of all, both for joining me. I'll come to you first, Louise. A huge win in the end for Queen Bees. It didn't look like it was going to be with, 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I mean, the Beacons put up a great fight there. I really thought that... I honestly thought we were going to end in a draw. We were very fortunate to keep pushing at the end and get a lucky one through Bolwell. But it's a credit to the Beacons' offence. They definitely caught us on the back foot a couple of times there.
We certainly did. Estelle, you were obviously on that top line alongside Louise. What a game of hockey it was, though. It's so close throughout, wasn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, it was.
Do you enjoy playing on that top line alongside players like Rachel and Louise?
I do. I'm very fortunate to play with them. It's GB's finest, both of them.
They certainly are. Now, you've been away on international duty with Hong Kong playing in the Asian Games. So what sort of experience was that for you?
It was a tough one for sure. We were playing against teams about 2 levels above us. I think they played against GB in the World Champs, so we got swept. But it was fun nonetheless.
Well, yeah, I can imagine it is. And also, you're sporting quite an impressive moustache. So
Thank you.
What's the story behind that?
It's the power of Latvia behind me.
Okay.
I think Talia went to the U18s, I think, Worlds, is it? Yeah. And she got me a little souvenir. One here,
Oh, okay.
and one over here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yes. I can see now, yeah. A great set, and must have brought you some good luck for this game. Louise, I know you've been out injured for most of this season, so how has it been for you for getting back to fitness?
Yeah, I mean, the first game back was definitely a shock to the system. I think hockey fitness is incredibly different to any other fitness you can do. And where I injured my hip, there wasn't much cardio I could do until I was back fully rehabbed. So it's definitely a chase now to try and get fit and get back to it. But I felt a lot better this game than I did the last, and it's just an ongoing journey from there.
Well, you certainly looked back to your best in
you
your performances, and much to our disappointment, of course, because it was at Willie's expense. But again, just looking back at that game, it was for anyone watching that game, it was a great advert for Elite League hockey, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Beacons themselves have developed massively within the league during the time in it, from when they first started to now. I think they could take any team on a good day, and that's credit to them and the development that they've brought in and the youngsters that they're developing through the programme.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's some points deficit to Solihull at the top, so getting that extra point today was crucial, because a draw probably wouldn't have been enough today, would it?
I'll let you answer that. Oh, okay, I'll answer it. No, I mean, I think every game matters for us now. We're 3-0 down to Solihull, so really the league's in their hands to lose. So all we can do is take every game as it comes and try and get as many points along the way.
But regardless of that, performances like today, and considering there's quite a few players missing as well, like Sir Catherine, Gale, Abby Sylvester, Ellie Waitland, with those players to come back, coming into the playoffs, Queen Bees are going to be a formidable force again, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think we were definitely missing them today, but I think we tried our hardest, and we'll be happy to have them back soon.
Yeah, I mean, to miss that many players and still come away with a win is huge. Looking ahead to the Worlds in Dumfries, Louise, and that's something you've been targeting all season. Fitness-wise, do you think you'll be ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm putting a lot of work in off the ice. I've just got my road bike fixed, so catch me in the Lycra. But yeah, I think there's a lot of work that's going into my fitness that I'm trying to get back to. I'm fully aware that I've come back from an injury, so it's maybe a bit more of a challenge than previous. I don't have as much time to play with, but definitely something that's achievable.
Well, best of luck with that. Hope to see you in the GB colours in April, and best of luck to you both for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
In the Under-16s League, Ice Bees closed the gap at the top of the table after their 4-0 win away at Milton Keynes. Daisy Duval gave the Slough-based side the lead midway through the opening period from Brooke Griffin's assist. They then netted twice in 37 seconds before the period was over to really take control of the game. Sophia Fajcik scored from Isabel Farr before Macy Goodall netted moments later to make it 3-0. Amelia Strachan-Jones completed the scoring early into the second period to claim a point and make it a 4-team battle now at the top of the Under-16 South standings as they fight it out for the 2 playoff berths. Abigail Ransom posted a 16-save shutout, while Milton Keynes' Rosie Chapman made 28 saves as she was kept busy in the Storm Rex goal. The Swindon Top Kittens clinched a first win of the season when completing a 5-3 success on the road against Midlands Wrekin Raiders in Telford. Miley Drazy scored 4 of her side's goals in what was a brilliant individual performance. Taryn Edwards scored the other, whilst also adding an assist. Natalia Roldan-Merck also came away with an assist. Lily Smith secured the Spirit of the Game award. Maggie Whitmore scored twice, with Katie Anderton netting the other. Grace Cox recorded a pair of assists, with Layla Langrish and Emmy Owens also posting helpers. Ellie Dowell was named Raiders Player of the Game. The following week, Chelmsford Rattlesnakes moved back to the top of the under-16 South standings after a 14-2 win at home to MK Stormwreck. A hat-trick from Freya Price inside the first 6 minutes of the game set the Essex side on their way. Izzy Zizhinska scored in between to make it 3-0, while Matilda Howell grabbed a pair of assists, with Lena Howard also posting a helper. Christina Powell scored at 7:50 to make it 5-0, before Matilda Howell scored from Price and Natalie Wilson 3 minutes later to increase the Rattlesnakes' lead. Milton Keynes grabbed a goal back before the first period was over, Freya Poole cutting the deficit to 6-1. But Chelmsford continued the goal scoring into the second period. Zizhinska scored a short-handed goal at 22:37 before laying on an assist for Summer Basing's goal less than a minute later. Zizhinska completed her hat-trick 42 seconds into the final session before Price scored her fourth 35 seconds later. Zinnia Quilter further extended Chelmsford's lead a minute after that before Zizhinska scored her fourth of the game. Poole grabbed a second for Milton Keynes before Zizhinska notched her fifth of the game off Basing's assist. Not to be outdone, Freya Price netted her fifth goal from Matilda Howell to complete the scoring inside the final minute of the game. Elsewhere, Alice Noakes put in a player of the game performance for Manchester Storm as they beat Sheffield 4-2 in the Under-16s North League.
Please make sure you're following us across all social media platforms
to keep you fully up to date with all things WNIHL.
On Facebook,
follow Ice Maidens, the voice of women's ice hockey,
and check out the website at icemaidens.wordpress.com.
On Instagram and on Twitter.
You can find the podcast
at ZPG Ice Maidens.
And for YouTube,
you can subscribe to Zero Pucks Given.
Please like, follow, share and subscribe.
It all does wonders for spreading the good word
of the ZPG network.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.